Good evening. Today is March 8th, 2022. The time is 5:33 p.m. This meeting of Georgetown County Council is now being called to order. I say that we do have a quorum present. We'll ask Mr. Carolina to give us the invocation and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Heavenly Father, we come today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of this community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that will affect the citizens, businesses, environment, and the future of Georgetown County. Continue to remind us that all that we do as stewards over the land is for the greater glory of you and for the service of humanity. And one thing that we all should have in common is humanity for our fellow brothers and sisters worldwide. My prayer goes global tonight for the restoration of peace in Europe, and especially for the citizens of the Ukraine. One wrong decision in this global military chess match could bring disaster to all worldwide. We pray for peace for all and ask of these things in your name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's time to pray. Yeah, that was a good one.
Thank you, Councilmember Carolina. We move down to the approval of the agenda. There's been a recommendation to move item 15A, item 15B, and item 15C forward on the meeting agenda. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda with the noted changes?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. With that being said, we'll move down to nonprofit spotlight, Outreach Forum.
Good evening. My name is Ed Gilmer. This is Red Talbert. We're board members of the Outreach Farm. I apologize for my voice. It's pollen. It's old over here. So I'll let Red start us off.
The Outreach Farm is a volunteer organization that provides free meat protein to 17 different entities in this area of the state, Georgetown, Horry counties, and a few other places as well. We buy meat from Cisco and U.S. Foods, and we have a ruthless buyer who gets us meat at a good price. We distribute it free of charge. We have no overhead costs. We have no employees. We have an all-volunteer board. We distribute once a month from a freezer that's located next to the Teach My People facility just across the county line up in near Pawleys Island. Not across the county line, but in Pawleys. So we've moved from raising cattle and to simply buying frozen meat because we can get much more for our money. We're able to feed a lot more people. We're trying to address the protein deficiencies in the food desert pockets that we have in this part of the state and trying to move. We're very interested in moving more into the corridor between Georgetown and Andrews, where we've been unable to locate feeding ministries that could use our product. We'd like to go that very much, and your help in that would be much appreciated.
What you have in front of you is a summary of our distribution year to date. So you can see the organizations we give to. And by us buying, we raise money, buy protein in huge quantities, so their funds can go more towards their missions. Specifically, right here in Georgetown with AMI, half of these are right here in Georgetown County area. And every dollar we raise goes towards buying protein. That's what we got involved. It's a real simple organization. When we had a farm, we were not part of it, but they realized that the cost of protein was about $20 a pound, which makes no sense. We got out of that. Now we have a freezer that Teach My People funds in Pawleys. They pay the power bill for it. So all we do is buy protein, get it delivered, give it all away every month. It's simple, and there's an amazing need for this that people don't see. And so we're happy to be able to help. It's a great organization. We're glad to be a part of it.
people we give the meat to prepare meals on site, serve them at no charge to their clients. So these are church soup kitchens and a variety of other volunteer organizations, residential programs for people who are recovering from drug issues or simply behavioral issues. And we just have a great time supporting them. We don't do the cooking, we provide the meat. Those folks have volunteers that come and pick up the meat from us, cook the meals and serve them to their constituency. And we are simply the ones trying to provide them with low-cost protein. Any questions we can answer?
I had a question. Gentlemen, the protein thing, do you do beef, poultry, and chicken, or what products do you put out there?
Whatever we get the best deal on. We have a buyer who used to work for Cisco. It's his contact there at US Foods. We simply provide all the things that you mentioned. Turkeys, where we can get good prices for those. Fish, we can get good price for that. We just gave away a record number of ground beef patties yesterday because we got a great deal on them. Our buyer is fairly ruthless, and we like that about him.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from council? And with the proteins, the organizations or entity would just contact you and make a request for it, or how to distribute it?
Correct. We only give to other nonprofits that serve hot meals, and we just added one yesterday, free. They're up in Loris area, somewhere that way. We are more than happy to add anybody we can in the area that's cooking hot meals and serve the need that's there. So if you know anybody, please send them our way. We'd be happy to vet them, make sure they're legit, and then add them to our list and give them all we can.
I do have another question. How many pounds of meat do you all distribute on a weekly basis? Do you know that?
We do a monthly distribution once a month. They take it, put it in their freezers, cook it, and then throughout the month. Last month, we did it yesterday. It's almost 3,000 pounds.
Gee.
And it's 2 or 3 of us once a month lugging these boxes around, shoving them in cars, and they go on the way. So it's highly efficient. It's fun to watch if you get bored on a Monday. So give us a call.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you. And thanks for all you do for the residents of Georgetown County. The Office of Veterans Affairs.
Good afternoon. My name is Kylie Washington. I'm a South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs Housing Coordinator. I'm here on behalf of Secretary William Grimsley, and here beside me is South Carolina Rio, the Regional Integrated Officer, Jay Berkeley. We're here just to tell you about information which we have from our organization that are available within the PD area and kind of local events, things that we're going to be having come to your area. Next, please. And basically what we do is we just advocate for veterans as well as their families. Everyone knows by going to the local veterans office and everything like that. However, families and everything also, we serve them in conjunction with that. We do this by assisting them with their benefits. We have a bunch of partnerships. We have different coordinators as well as RIOs throughout the state in which we do this for. Please next. We have 4 RIOs. The Bad Secretary Upstate. We have a PD RIO, which is Jay Berkeley, responsible for this particular area. Midlands, Dan Wrightsman, Low Country, Brendan Beck. Our program coordinators are the employment coordinator. We have a women and minority coordinator. I'm the housing coordinator. We have a health and promotion coordinator, as well as a veteran justice treatment coordinator. Events such as this is what we do to communities. We have 4. It's going to be all total throughout the state. And one of the requirements for different job fairs is that it's a minimum requirement that the employers offer at least $35,000 per year for the jobs, and they have hiring managers on site.
Next slide, please. So our Women and Minority Veterans Program Coordinator, Heather Durant McEady, hosts several events across the state that support women veterans and their families in finding jobs, obtaining skills, and keeping those skills and utilizing them in a way that they can get jobs to sustain their families moving forward. Some of the events that she has coming up is going to be this weekend in Greenville. There's a Women Warrior Workshop that'll be taking place. And throughout the year, there'll be several of those taking place. The one that's going to be here in your area in the PD is May 28th in Myrtle Beach. Next slide. One of our initiatives that we're working on is the Veterans Justice Outreach Program. Currently, we don't have a coordinator filling that position. However, we're working to build those relationships. So when we do have someone in that role, that'll be an initiative that we're working on to sustain across the state for our veterans as well. Next slide. Do we have our partner from ECHO here in the room? So one of the programs that Calais works on is going to be the housing, which is the homeless initiative. One of the meetings that she hosts each month is going to be the End Homelessness Initiative. One of our partners, ECHO, was supposed to be here with us tonight, so we won't go any further on this presentation because the next portion is theirs, but they're not here. My job as a regional integration officer is to make sure that any services across the state that are provided to our veterans, we know about it. At the state level, we help to facilitate those programs and to promote them as well. I know that Dr. Murphy, your County Veterans Affairs Officer, is here in the room. I just want to take a moment to thank him very much for his support in my role as the Regional Integration Officer for the PD, and also to thank him for the services that he provides to your veterans here of Georgetown. We'll take questions now, please.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council members?
Ma'am, do you happen to know your annual budget?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay.
Is that something you needed? I can get it back for you.
Well, no, that's okay. I just thought you might have an idea. I didn't want to embarrass you, but I'm sorry, but I was just
No.
curious. Thank
No,
you.
sir, I'm not embarrassed. I actually started in this role in September of last year. Our new budget doesn't come out until July, but if it's something that you need, I can definitely ask and circle back for you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions from any council member? We appreciate your coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Next, we'll move to item 15C on our agenda, the request to name county facility. Mr. Jimmy Brumell has requested to have a county recreation facility named in honor of Mr. Latson. Mr. Brumell.
I'm here today in representing Mr. A.B. Latson. He was one of the starters of our sports and youth program in Plantersville for over 50-some years. And when he passed away, I wanted to see if I can get the field that we have named in his honor, because he has helped a lot of kids through his program, from going to high school, going to college, even going to play professional football or professional sports. And I'm here just to represent his family, the community, and everyone I asked. You know, it's saying that it'd be a good idea if we can name that facility in honor of him. I worked with him for approximately 19 years, coaching with him. And when he retired, I retired. And that's what I'm here for today, to see if we can get that facility named after him, because I think he deserves it for all the work he's done in the community.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments from any council member regarding naming the facility in honor of Mr. A.B. Latson? Okay. Mr. Brumell, we appreciate your bringing this up. I see there are some members from Mr. Latson's family here this evening also. And I concur with you. Mr. Latson has done a lot for, in this facility we're talking about, it's located in the Plantersville community, is that correct? And it's behind Plantersville School. And I think that's the facility where Mr. Latson has always utilized to practice with the kids and have training sessions and their baseball, football games at that particular facility. Okay, and then he was very instrumental also in working with the recreation department here to have lighting and everything done on that particular field and make sure the field was upkept at all times. And from that, he helped to mold a lot of baseball players from that area, and also football players, which moved on to different schools, Carver's Bay area and some at Georgetown High and some at Waccamaw, as a matter of fact. Okay. Any comments from any other council members regarding naming of the recreation facility in honor of A.B. Latson Sr.?
Mr. Chairman, I would highly recommend this naming of the field. Known Mr. Latson for a number of years. When I first moved here, he was an inspiration not only in the Plantersville community, but throughout Georgetown County, especially recreational programs, even in North Santee, and talking and coordinating with other youth coaches. So I think it would be an honor for the naming of that field and recognizing his achievements over the years.
And again, I see the family of Mr. Latson here this evening also, and it appears as though council is in agreement to naming the facility in honor of Mr. Latson. Am I correct in saying that, right? Okay. And if the family of Mr. Latson will step forward, we could take a photograph while you're here, and we'll make the formal presentation at a later date, along with Mr. Brumell and his assistant.
Mr. Chairman, we do need a quick motion, just for the record.
You all can stand right there while we make the motion, okay? You have heard the presentation from Mr. Brumell regarding naming the park facility located at 1668 Exodus Drive in honor of Mr. A.B. Roger Latson Sr. Is there a motion for approval?
Mr. Chairman, I do move that we name the facility in honor, memory of Ms. A.B. Latson.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. I know you couldn't see the vote, but the motion carried unanimously.
Public comment.
Again, thanks for the presentation, and thanks for the family of Mr. Latson to attend us this evening. You're welcome to stay for the remainder of our meeting, really. Thanks for being here. Okay. We'll move on to public comments. A public comment period is included on each meeting agenda and shall be limited to 30 minutes. Each speaker will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. No speaker may yield his/her allotted time to another speaker. Members of the public who wish to address council during the public input period should sign up with the clerk of council before the meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up this evening?
Mr. Chairman, we do not.
No, okay. Thank you. Yeah.
That's the first, Lucy.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move down to our approval of our minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
There's a motion by Mr. Goggins for the approval of the February 22nd, 2022 minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Anderson. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. We're down to our public hearings. We'll be having a public hearing regarding ordinance number 21-37. The floor is now open for any public comments regarding ordinance number 21-37. Are there any comments? Not seeing or hearing any, the floor is now closed. We'll move down to third reading of ordinances. Ordinance number 21-37, presented by our attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is a ordinance to adopt a fee in lieu agreement with Tilly Technologies and Enthalpy LLC. This one, I think the second reading of this was, may even been before the first of the year. It was delayed a little bit. I think the counsel for Tilly and Enthalpy needed to confirm some items with his clients. They've done so. What's before you, the ordinance has simply been updated to reflect some date changes and things of that nature. And it is essentially in the same manner as it appeared to you for second reading.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or comments for our attorney? Okay. Is there a motion for approval of ordinance number 21-37?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approved ordinance number 2137.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so this is moved by Councilman Anderson and second by Councilman Newton. Is there a motion to amend to incorporate the amended text?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carolina. Thank you. Yes. Okay, we first vote on the amendment. Any discussion? All in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand. Opposed? The motion carries. We now go back to the main motion. All in favor of the main motion with the incorporated text, please acknowledge by raising your hand. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go down to ordinance number, third reading of ordinance number 22-07. Ms. Richardson.
Good evening. This is a request from Dan Stacy, the agent for Karen Newsom of Wachasaw Plantation, Inc., to amend the Wachasaw Plantation PD to modify two parcels from community services designation to a R1/2 acre residential designation. We haven't had any changes to this since you gave it second reading last month. And as a reminder, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval for the change. And we received 2 comments of support. I was also just told before the meeting that the neighbors that were represented earlier at the meeting are also in favor of the request at this time. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions from council? Hearing none, is there a motion on ordinance number 22-07?
Mr. Chairman, I move for third reading approval of ordinance number 22-07.
Okay, it's a motion by Mr. Thomas. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Goggins. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Third reading of ordinance number 22-08.
Yes, sir. This is a request from Everett Brown as agent for Alyssa Miller. And the request is to rezone 1/2 acre of an existing 1 acre parcel from forest and agriculture to 1/2 acre residential. The owner plans to take the remainder of the tract and combine it with adjacent property that he owns, so it will remain FA. Again, we have not had any changes to this request since second reading. There were no objections presented at the Planning Commission meeting, and the commission recommended approval for this request.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. Any questions for Ms. Richardson? Is there a motion on ordinance number 22-08?
Mr. Chairman, I move for third reading approval of ordinance number 22-08.
It's been moved by Councilman Thomas. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Goggins. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Oppose? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Richardson. We move to third reading of ordinance number 22-09. I think Madam Administrator and Ms. Langston maybe.
Good evening. There have been no changes to this ordinance since the last meeting. We'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions from council regarding third reading of ordinance number 22-09? Seeing none, is there a motion regarding third reading of ordinance number 22-09?
So moved.
Been moved by Councilman Newton for approval, adoption rather. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Carolina. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Third reading of ordinance number 22-10. Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the proposed motion, or ordinance rather, does need, if the county approves, two amendments. One is to clarify the penalty. You'll recall from second reading that the penalty on this was to simply be a civil penalty of $20. There actually is in section 5.5-19 of the beach regulations, a penalty section that makes other violations of beach regulations criminal penalties. So we simply are adding language that section 5.5-19 notwithstanding that a violation of the holes on the beach would still be civil, just to avoid any confusion as to the potential penalties. Second amendment for the council to consider is a striking of section 3, sentence 3, regarding the tools or implements that could be used for digging. Since the last meeting, there's been some other comments from some of the public and some discussions. And I think the general consensus was, rather than trying to regulate all the different things people might be able to bring down there, just, we don't necessarily care how you dig, just don't dig beyond what the ordinance is set forth with regards to size and depth. So those are the proposed amendments. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from council? Is there a motion for third reading approval of ordinance number 22-10?
So moved, Mr. Chairman. So moved.
Okay. Been moved by Councilman Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Goggins. Is there a motion to amend to incorporate the amended text?
I'll amend the motion for one, which was the section on the penalty, and also amendment number 2 to strike a section out of, strike section 3 from the verbiage.
There's a motion from Councilman Anderson to amend the ordinance to incorporate the amended text regarding the penalty and the section that was struck out in accordance with our attorney's discussion. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the amended motion, please raise your hand. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now, going back to the original motion, is there a motion for approval of ordinance number 22-10 to include the incorporated text and amendments?
So moved.
It's moved by Councilman Newton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Anderson and Goggins. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll go on down to first reading of ordinances. Ordinance number 22-11, an ordinance to, well, the first reading of ordinance will just be read into the records. Ordinance number 22-11, an ordinance to adopt the revised housing element of a comprehensive plan. And ordinance number 22-12, to rezone one parcel totaling approximately 1 acre located at 12036 Pleasant Hill Drive in Georgetown, TMS number 03-041-2-046-00-00 from forest agricultural to residential 1/2 acre. We will now move into executive session for discussion regarding contractual matters relating to the possible sale or lease of county properties pursuant to SC Code annotated section 30-4-70A2. Is there a motion to move into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? We will now enter executive, okay. We will now enter into executive session. Okay, we are back. We return from executive session. Is there a motion to move back into open session?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Thomas. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Carolina. Any discussion? All in favor of moving back into open session? Please raise your hand. Opposed? Okay, we're now back into open session. Please let the record reflect that we entered into executive session to discuss a legal matter regarding contractual matters relating to the possible sale or lease of county properties pursuant to SC Code annotated section 30-40-70A2. Also note that no votes were taken while we were in, nor any decisions made by council while we were in executive session. Is there any further business coming before council? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
It has been moved by Councilman Carolina and Goggins. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor? Stand adjourned. Motion carried. Stand adjourned. Have a great evening.
Take me water.